Welcome to the Build on Beauty podcast, where beauty is born skin deep. Now, here's your host, author, speaker, entrepreneur, Cornell Jermaine.
Hello, thank you all for joining us today. We have a special guest. She is the founder of Joyous Health, a certified holistic nutritionist, and a best-selling author. Please help me welcome Joy McCarthy. Joy, how are you today?
I'm fabulous. How are you doing?
Doing well. I'm excited to talk to you. We're in a new year, 2017, and so many are on this quest for better health and wellness, which is a good thing. And you are, in my opinion, one who is an expert in health and wellness. And we want to talk about not only your latest book, but we want to just talk about health and wellness and your personal journey with it. Let's start in 2003. It's my understanding that everything changed for you as it pertains to your perspective of life and health. Can you tell us that story and how you got started in your interest with health?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when I was in my teens and throughout my 20s, I suffered from a lot of health challenges, and my hair was thinning. I had digestive problems. I had anxiety, and I felt very addicted to sugar. And so I, went from doctor to doctor, specialist to specialist to find out exactly what was wrong with me. Why was my hair thinning? Why did I have just all these random symptoms? And it was determined that my hormones were out of balance. And so, the standard medical treatment was, okay, well, let's give you a prescription. Let's give you prescription drugs, a hormone treatment to try and balance your hormones. But, of course, that didn't work. And it actually made me have other symptoms and make some of my symptoms worse. So it was quite a few years that I was feeling this way. And then finally I did kind of come to a fork in the road where I decided that enough was enough, and I clearly needed to take the responsibility for my health into my own hands and stop taking these different prescription drugs because they weren't making me any better. And that is truly when my life took a very positive turning point. And that's when my health started to change. So, it took about 3 to 6 months for me to really start to notice a difference, particularly in things like my hair, because it's so hard to see your hair grow, right? It grows such a small amount every month. But, it took a couple months for me to start to notice my hair was getting thicker again, but right away I noticed that my anxiety dramatically improved, and so did my digestion, with some dietary changes I made and some lifestyle changes as well. So that really inspired me, because I thought, if I've been dealing with this for so long, I've been to so many different doctors, and nobody has been able to truly help me. If I have figured this out on my own, I'm onto something here. So I need to learn more about this so that I can help others experience Joyous Health, because I really thought I was kind of at a dead-end road, and I was never going to get better. So that's in a nutshell my story, and how I got inspired to become a nutritionist, was that I really wanted to help other people.
Now, talk about just briefly, because I've seen and experienced people who have kind of gotten introduced to health from a different perspective, and they have to kind of develop this mindset to put the drugs away or try to at least wean themselves off of that. And sometimes that's not always the easiest task, because we develop such a trust in the drugs and the doctors. How did you navigate that psychologically?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. And there's lots of prescription drugs that you can't just stop taking them. Antidepressants and drugs for anxiety have to be weaned off working with a certified practitioner or your medical doctor. So people listening to this, you don't want to just stop taking those types of drugs. So for me, because the different medications I was on, I could just stop them. It was safe to do so. And then I had to make some positive changes to my lifestyle. So for me, I was very motivated because I wanted to feel better. So, the drugs weren't actually working, so it wasn't like they were suppressing the symptoms anyhow. So it was like, why am I taking this when it's not helping me? Clearly I need to do something else. So in this case, it wasn't like I just snapped my fingers and overnight I felt better. I started recording a food journal and then actually writing down how the food I was eating was making me feel. For example, I was very addicted to sugar. So, sugar promotes inflammation in the body. When you have chronic low-grade inflammation all the time, this affects hormones. Hormones are the chemical messengers of your body. They affect absolutely everything. So one of the positive changes I made was I decided that I was going to do a sugar detox. And because I noticed when I would eat sugar in the middle of the afternoon, it would make me feel irritable, grumpy, tired, and it would really set me off in terms of more sugar cravings in the evening. Because I would eat, say like M&Ms, mid-afternoon, and then when I got home from work, I had my dinner, I would be just, this like sugar monster looking for more of a sugar fix. So cutting sugar out of my diet and having a more balanced approach with it really helped to balance my blood sugar. So I really had to make sure that I was getting enough protein and fat with every meal and snack, because those two macronutrients really help to balance your blood sugar. And when you have better balanced blood sugar, you don't have sugar cravings because you're managing your insulin levels. So, it could be something as simple as instead of like at lunch, I used to think that a healthy lunch was only healthy if it was super lean, like a broth type soup and a salad. Well, I was severely missing good fat, which is very satiating, and protein, which takes longer to digest, that would keep me full and keep me past that 3 p.m. candy rage. So protein and fat was really key in my diet. And then also, in terms of a lifestyle factor, at the time, I was of the mindset that calories in, calories out, that if back then I was a really big runner, so I thought that I can eat whatever I want if I just simply run at 5:30 in the morning every day, but that was making me so exhausted because I wasn't getting enough sleep. So it's really like hard on my body, hard on my adrenals. So that was another positive change that I made, was I started to get more sleep and stopped getting up at 5:30 in the morning every day to go for a run. And that really wasn't, and again, I was only doing that because I thought, okay, I have to burn off these calories. But when I got my mindset out of calories in, calories out, because that is actually not true. Calories don't equal, if you're trying to lose weight, which I was also trying to do, I wasn't focusing on quality of food, and that's the most important thing to focus on when you're trying to lose weight is quality, not so much quantity. So when I stopped with my obsessive exercising and had a more moderate approach, I actually started to lose weight. And I was pretty amazed with it, even though after doing research, I kind of figured out this was the best thing to do. So I started doing things like yoga and power walking instead. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad idea to run, but, a lot of people see exercise as, I'm going to do this highly intense exercise program so that I can eat this big meal. And that was totally, in my mind, how I thought. And when I released that, like I said, I was able to lose weight and also feel a lot better.
Now, your newest book, Joyous Detox, I'm sure it deals with detoxing from sugar and other things. But
yes,
just from a plain, so everybody can get this, exactly what is detox? What does that mean? Because we hear it thrown around so much, but give us a definition that we can practically implement.
We do, and I just want to say before I share, what a detox is, when we think of detox, often we think of diets, and detoxing has such a negative connotation towards it. People have such a negative connotation towards the word detox and dieting because we automatically think deprivation, right? We think, I'm not going to be able to eat any food. I'm going to be on some raw food juice fast for the next 2 weeks and feel completely miserable. So that is not the joyous detox. So my definition of detox is really simple. You're going to take a break from certain foods and certain habits, and you're going to introduce nourishing foods and nourishing habits, lifestyle habits, so that you feel your best. So you're taking a break, and you're adding the good stuff in. And all throughout my book, Joyous Detox, and also on my website, that is really something I've been focusing on for the last 10 years, is teaching and educating people. It's more about putting the good stuff in. There's so much negativity in the world, especially right now. Let's focus more on, not all the things we can't eat, but what can we eat? And what are the habits that are going to make us feel our best and help our bodies detoxify? So our body is detoxifying every single second of every day. And so when you eat something, when you digest it, when you take in chemicals in your body, your liver has a two-phase system for detoxing these chemicals. So if you are eating foods, for example, that have pesticides, or you are eating foods that have BPA, that in canned foods, these chemicals have to be neutralized by your liver, and then your liver has to eliminate them. So that's that is the process of detoxification. Your body identifies these toxic products and these chemicals that are harmful to your body. Your body identifies them and neutralizes them. And hopefully, not always, which is why we need to detox, hopefully our body eliminates them via the sweat, when we have a bowel movement. There are, many ways that toxins can get out of the body, but if we are not eating a nourishing diet, if we have a lot of stress, we're not exercising, we really hamper the detoxification process, because there are so many nutrients that are involved along the way in order for detoxification to occur, that if we are not eating a nutrient-dense diet, we simply don't give our body those cofactors for detoxification to take place properly. So this is why toxins can build up in the body. And what this means is most toxins are fat-soluble. So when your body is not doing an effective job of eliminating toxins and waste products and chemicals, they get sent to settle in your fat cells. So where they can hang out, for up to a lifetime and affect hormones and affect everything in your body. They can hang out there for many years or a lifetime, and so this is when we start to have symptoms that we can't explain. We don't know why. Just like all the symptoms that I was having when I was addicted to sugar. I had to go through a time period of detoxing from gluten and detoxing from sugar in order to, really help my body and really, get the process of detoxification going.
Now, you mentioned something that is really becoming a fad in the world, raw fooding and juicing. From a holistic nutritionist standpoint, being that you're certified in, what's your opinion on those? Do you think that's a harsh extreme, or do you think it's okay?
I think it depends where you're at. I think it's that you are already someone who is eating a plant-based diet, so you're naturally eating lots of roughage and you get lots of fiber on a daily basis and you drink tons of water. So you're that person who's already, fairly healthy, taking good care of yourself, you have a healthy lifestyle. Then I think for a short time period doing a juice fast can be fine. And many people find that it's very energizing. But for the average person, the average North American, it's not something I recommend, because doing those types of fasts can really wake up a lot of toxic matter in the body that has been there for years. And if your channels of detoxification are not open already, if you don't have good digestion, you're not having regular bowel movements, you don't drink enough water, you're going to wake up a lot of this matter, and it's going to cause havoc in your body, because you're not effectively eliminating it. It can cause terrible headaches. It can cause skin problems. It can cause brain fog. It can cause a lot of issues. So you really have to, take stock of where you're at. If you're eating, a couple times a week, you eat fast food, you eat fried foods, bad fat, you're not eating many plant foods, then going on a hardcore juice detox for 5 days does not erase, eating that way for years. And a lot of people feel terrible when they do those detoxes, and then they just go back to eating the same way that they were before. So it's completely pointless. This is why I'm all about detoxing for a lifestyle, and that's what I talk about in my book, Joy is Detox, and I've been singing the praises for as long as I can remember. It's about living the detox. I don't recommend, sure, I have a 10-day detox in my book because I feel that it takes a short amount of time for people to realize that they feel better, but I really recommend this as a lifestyle. I want people to eat this way every day and practice these lifestyle habits every day so that they feel their absolute best, because we all deserve to feel amazing, and I think a lot of people just don't feel their best, and they're satisfied with feeling okay, and perhaps may not even realize how good the body is designed to feel. And one more thing I want to mention about water fast and juice fast. While they're great to give the digestive system a break, your liver needs enzymes to detox chemicals. And enzymes are made from protein. And one of the best ways to get protein is eating animal foods. Now, my husband and I eat a plant-based diet. 80% of what we do eat is plant-based. But if you are doing strict juice fasting, at some point you're not going to be effectively detoxing in the liver, because where are you getting all these amino acids to make these enzymes that help you detoxify?
This is good.
So lots to think about.
Absolutely. Now, as it pertains to the book and creating a lifestyle with joyous detox, give us a couple of, specific foods that we definitely should implement on a daily basis in order to get this thing jump-started.
Yeah, so there's foods that literally help stimulate detoxification of the liver. So these are foods that you don't just eat when you're detoxing. I recommend eating them every single day. One of my favorite foods, and maybe yourself or your listeners already eat or drink, is lemons. So lemons are a natural cleanser for the body. We see them in products to make our floor nice and shiny, right? Or to clean our bathrooms. Well, lemons are natural cleansers, and they have the same effect on our body. And they work in a variety of ways to help our body better detox. One of them is that lemons help to stimulate detoxification in the liver by helping to thin the bile. And because lemons help to stimulate the flow of bile, bile is a carrier of toxins along with fiber. So if you're eating a plant-based diet and you have lemon and water every single morning on an empty stomach, that helps to stimulate digestive juices, helps to stimulate bile, helps with cleansing of the liver, helps you have a bowel movement. It is such a great way to start the day. So over the years, I've been recommending freshly squeezed lemon juice in water every morning on an empty stomach. I've been recommending this forever. And some of the benefits that I hear from people and my clients telling me is that their digestion has improved. They aren't bloated. They feel like they're actually digesting their food better. Their skin has improved, because that's a benefit. When you better detox chemicals that come into your body, your skin looks much better. So proof is in the pudding. For the listeners out there, if this is something you've never tried, just try this one detox habit every morning on an empty stomach before breakfast, and you will notice a difference. The other thing is that lemons are a great source of vitamin C, and vitamin C is very important for detoxification of the liver, because when you detox chemicals, your body creates lots of free radicals, and free radicals are very damaging to our cells. And if we don't take in enough antioxidants from our food, then this whole detox process can actually be damaging to our body. So foods that are rich in vitamin C, like plant-based foods like lemons, are excellent to eat because they are an antioxidant that protects our liver when detoxification is happening. So lemons are one of my favorite foods. Sulfur-containing foods like leeks, onions, shallots, garlic. These are all foods that help to stimulate phase 2 in the liver. So helps your body detoxify alcohol, caffeine, smoke, drugs, various harsh chemicals. We need to eat more foods that are sulfur rich. So I recommend eating these foods every day. My husband and I, we do a lot of cooking ourselves, and always on the menu at either lunch or dinner, I'm going to have either garlic or some kind of onion in my meal, because it is such a rich food, a food that's rich in nutrients that help the liver better do its job. And then colorful foods. Colorful foods, like plant-based foods, are an indication of phytonutrients. There are over 25,000 phytonutrients. Phyto meaning plant, nutrient. We know what nutrient means. So there are over 25,000 plant medicines in our food, and they're actually what give food their color, what give food their taste profiles. So these nutrients have incredible and wide-ranging benefits for plants, and when we eat them, we see the same benefits. So some of the benefits of these phytonutrients are things like helping with detoxification of the liver, helping to keep our immune system strong. So a simple habit to get into is whenever you grocery shop, just make sure that you fill your grocery cart with a variety of different colored fruits. I remember when I was a kid growing up, and that was one thing that my mom always made sure was that we had, every time we ate lunch and dinner, when she made us our dinner, we would have lots of colors on our plate, because that indicated a variety of different nutrients. And then I love foods like beans and lentils and chickpeas, and these are all wonderful foods because they are cancer-fighting foods. Again, they have a wide range of phytonutrients that help prevent cancer, and they do that by helping, again, stimulate detoxification of the liver and helping our cells be healthy, and, of course, rich in fiber. If you're doing a detox, and, I want people to be detoxing every day, we need to eat fiber, because fiber is a carrier of waste. When we have a bowel movement, obviously that is a great way to get rid of waste and chemicals and toxins in our body. So we need to be eating more fiber-rich foods. And, for the listeners out there who don't currently eat much fiber, you want to kind of introduce it slowly if you're not used to much roughage. Otherwise, it can cause a lot of gas and bloating. Because you have to think your digestive system is a muscle. So if you've never been to the gym and you go to the gym and you start like bicep curling, 25 pounds, that's going to be very uncomfortable. You're going to be very, very sore. Well, think of food with fiber the same way. It works out the muscle, which is your small and large intestine. So if you're eating all this roughage and you haven't slowly introduced it, it's not going to be very pleasant. So introduce it slowly. And then I'm a big fan I love fresh herbs, because fresh herbs are a really simple way to get power-packed nutrition in for a very little price. You can, grow a little fresh herb garden in your window yourself, and, the seeds can cost you like 50 cents. So, eating more basil and parsley and cilantro. Cilantro, we know, to be an incredible heavy metal detoxifier. And we get heavy metals from things like cosmetics, makeup, foundation, concealer, lipstick is just abundant with heavy metals. So we need to eat foods that help bind with these terrible chemicals, these heavy metals, and help to remove them from our body. And cilantro is amazing for that. And basil as well is so anti-inflammatory and very rich in antioxidants. And as I mentioned, we need more antioxidants, because through the process of detoxification, we create more free radicals, which damage our cells and can cause cancer. So eating more antioxidant-rich foods neutralize these free radicals. And coming back to color is a cue for health. So fill your plate with lots of color and make sure that's lots of variety, because we get stuck in a rut of eating the same foods week after week, right? This is the biggest challenge I see for people who consider themselves healthy. When I look at their food journal, sure, they're healthy, but they've been eating the same vegetable week after week for the last 10 years. All they eat, maybe all they eat is broccoli and carrots, and the only fruit they eat is blueberries on their cereal every morning. Well, sure, those are healthy foods, but that's not very healthy if you've been eating the same way for the last, how many years. So variety is really, really key.
Now, I want to touch on a same subject, but I guess a different facet of it. You and your husband just welcomed a new bundle of joy. Congratulations.
Yes,
maybe a year ago, right?
So, yes, she's 17 months now.
Right. And so many people find themselves in a position when they have this new baby. It's such a blessing because the baby brings so much joy, but then it's also kind of scary because you have this clean slate. And as parents, depending on how you treat this clean slate will kind of determine the trajectory of their life. How are you and your husband approaching your baby and the feeding process and the food you're introducing, being that you're a health nutritionist? What is your approach?
Yeah, so my approach is, if we eat healthy, she'll eat healthy, because she's going to end up eating how we eat. what babies see us do as adults, they will replicate. So if they, it goes beyond just food. If they see you being loving and kind towards others, they reflect that and they will do the same. So with food, I treat my body well and my husband treats his body well, meaning we put nourishing foods into our body because it's all about self-care. So if I didn't do that, then how can I expect Vienna, that's her name, that's our daughter's name, how can I expect her to eat well as well? So we started introducing foods to her around 4.5, 5 months. So she's had now over a year of eating foods. And we started out, with just whole foods. Like the first food she ever ate was avocado. And avocado is such an amazing, nourishing whole food for anybody, whether you're a baby or whether you're an adult. So we've just made sure that everything that we give Vienna is whole food based. And, she doesn't have, I don't give her refined sugar, but I'm also not crazy about it either. For example, I don't want her to have food fear. So that when she is 10 years old and she goes to a birthday party and someone has cake that she is afraid to eat it or she has, negative feelings towards certain foods, I just simply want to teach her by doing. So, for example, last night we were at my husband's, we had a family event and someone baked a beautiful cherry cake. So there's no reason she can't have a little bit because Walker and I are going to eat it. But is she going to polish off a huge piece? Are we going to, be giving her pie and cakes every day? No, absolutely not. But, we make sure that the majority of what Vienna eats is plant-based. She does eat some animal foods because they're very important for growth and development. But she eats lots of vegetables and fruits. And she really doesn't eat any processed foods. Unless, like I said, we're going out somewhere and we go to a family event and, she wants to try a little bit of cake, I'm fine with that.
Wow. Well, you guys are on the ball. You're giving me so much to aspire to. I'm excited.
The other thing is, glad you brought up that point because I don't want anyone to feel bad that I'm saying, that we feed Vienna this way. But I think it is important for those people listening who do have little ones to really take care of yourself first and foremost. Give yourself great food because then you're going to give that to your child. And it's never too late. Of course, there's been lots of foods that Vienna's hated. Like, I cannot get this child to like broccoli for the life of me. And broccoli is an incredible food, but she hates it. She's also not really a fan of cauliflower, and these are foods that Walker and I obviously eat. And that's okay. I'm not going to stress myself out about it. I know that it's, hating these foods is such a fleeting moment that there's been lots of foods that I've introduced to Vienna, and she doesn't like them. And so I just try again. If I try it 3 times, I kind of have this 3-time rule. Like, if I try it 3 times and she hates it every time, then I just I leave it. I don't try it for a few weeks, maybe a couple months, and then I reintroduce it to her again and see if she likes it. But a way that how I get Vienna to eat a lot of good food is every single day for breakfast, Walker, Vienna, and I make a smoothie for the 3 of us every single day. And so, for example, today the smoothie I made, I put celery and cucumber, banana, mango, flax seeds, protein powder. So basically what I'm saying is it's got tons of healthy foods in it, but most important, blueberries, it tasted really good. So of course she's going to eat that. And how awesome is that my 17-month-old is eating celery and blueberries and all these, amazing foods. And that's a really easy way to get it into her. Is she going to eat celery just by chomping on it now at 17 months? No, she's not going to eat that. She'll be like, what are you giving me, Mom? But getting it into her in a smoothie is a really great way to do it. So for those of your listeners out there, smoothies and soups are my favorite way to get healthy, good nutrition into my daughter.
And the trick to the broccoli and cauliflower, now I don't know how healthy it is, but it worked for me, is melting cheddar cheese on it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, a little bit of salt.
Yeah, a little bit of salt, cheddar cheese. And you know what? It worked for me as a kid, and now I've grown up to be an adult who actually likes broccoli and cauliflower. So I don't know. It could work.
There you go. Yeah, you do what you can. You do what you can. You make you make little changes here and there to get your kids interested, and that's the whole thing, right? Like, make sure the food is tasty. I don't give Vienna just bland. When I've tried cauliflower, it's not just, like steamed bland cauliflower. I'm going to saute it and make it tasty, but she's just not into it yet. So that's okay. I'll give it some time, and I'll try it again. It's just like fish. Like, she at first hated salmon, and now she absolutely loves it, and she couldn't get enough. And of course, with Vienna, we give her mostly or all organic food. So she used to love scrambled eggs. That was like one of her favorite foods for at least 6 months. Curry, scrambled eggs. I would like scrambled eggs and then put like organic curry powder on it, and she would gobble that up. Now she hates eggs. She hasn't had eggs in like 3 months. I can't get her to eat eggs. But am I going to freak out about it and stress out? No, it's okay. She'll come back around.
She'll come back around. And might I add, listeners, curry eggs is amazing. I thought I was the only person that did that.
Good. Oh, good. So you do it too. Isn't it so good?
I do. I love it. Tell us how we can purchase the book, Joyous Detox.
Yeah, so Joyous Detox is available on Amazon.com, in Barnes & Noble, basically wherever books are sold. You should be able to find Joyous Detox, but of course online. For sure on Amazon is the easiest way to find it. And it's actually on sale right now, so it's a good deal. And so in my book there's 100 gluten-free, dairy-free, refined sugar recipes, but most important, they are absolutely delicious. And I don't just say that myself. Obviously, I've made all these recipes, and this is how I eat. But now that my book has been out since December, I'm getting tons of feedback through social media, and people are loving the recipes. And the most common thing I'm hearing people tell me is, oh, my gosh, I don't feel like I'm on a detox. Like, this is so delicious. How can detoxing be this delicious? And that makes me smile, because that means that these people are going to incorporate these recipes into their daily life. So it's about living the detox as opposed to just doing it for a short amount of time.
Wow. Well, Joy, thank you so much. You have given us so much to think about, and we appreciate the work that you're doing, because we need more people like you in the field, really helping us to maintain our health and wellness. So thank you so much for the work that you do. Well, this has been the Build on Beauty podcast, where beauty is born skin deep. I'm your host, Cornell Jermaine. Until next time, let your soul be made whole. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Build on Beauty podcast. For more information about our host, please visit cornelljermaine.com.